even more of the most important apps as selected by our MacVoices Live panel. This is MacVoices. This edition of MacVoices is supported by the MacVoices Dispatch, our weekly newsletter to keep you up on all the latest from MacVoices. Watch or listen to MacVoices straight from your email client. Sign up at macvoices.com/newsletter and stay up to date. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, this is the third and final part of what was supposed to be our MacVoices Live informal holiday party, but turned into a discussion of important apps that our panel members find useful and why some apps fit some people. Let's go back and let the panel do the talking. So Mark, you take the time to go in when you install a new app that has a menu bar app and turn that off?
I do.
Really? That's fascinating.
What if that's like an integral part of how that application works?
Well, I don't want to cause Chuck to lose his family rating, but
Thank you.
If it's stuff like that, I really have to. I've never seen yet an app where it was so necessary that I would tolerate its, assholic, intrusive, and demand to be in my menu bar.
Well, to throw a little more shade toward Rogue Amoeba, they have an app called SoundSource that lets you route audio from your menu bar to any input or output that you want to use, and it's an amazing app. But if you try to use it as just an application, it would be like, well, then why don't I just use Loopback or something like that? But SoundSource is as a menu bar app is pretty amazing.
Yes, like Fantastical.
Keyboard Maestro.
See, this is why I only ask everybody to pick two, because it's easy to go down this rabbit hole.
Keyboard Maestro is in my menu bar, and I use it in the menu bar all the time.
Tot.
What?
T-O-T. Tot. Oh my God! Yeah, you have got to try this.
I've heard of it, but I don't. I did not imbibe.
But see, that's interesting, Jeff, because I tried Tot, and it just didn't do anything for me. I mean, taking nothing away from it, that it just didn't fit me. I don't know why, it just didn't. At least as I understood it.
Okay, so if you're looking at Tot as a place where you're just storing lots of information, then you don't want to use Tot, because that's not what it's for. It's for all of that transient note stuff that you want to have, and you want to have it on all your devices. And
you've mentioned this before.
Yeah, it's another one of those apps I can't live without.
I use Drafts for that.
Yeah, which is fine, but with Drafts, the idea is you can just keep stuff around. And the idea with Tot is that you're intentionally not going to keep stuff around long term, or if it is, it's going somewhere else.
So if I may ask, why do you use that instead of Notes?
Because Notes sucks. Well, for me, I actually don't use Apple's Notes app at all. And if I did, then I would be doing something where I'm creating something that becomes like a permanent piece of information. That's not what I want. So
it's ephemerality, if that's such a word, is what's attractive to you.
Yes. And it's the fact that the idea is the data is ephemeral, and if it needs to be more permanent, then it's going somewhere else anyhow. And it has just a limited number of little note sheets, and it's just out of your way. So for me, I'm sitting there working with something, and it's like, oh, I need to keep track of this for this afternoon, and it'll go into Tot, and then later in the afternoon, I'm not at my Mac, I'm on my iPad. I've still got that stuff. I'm done with it. Okay, now I'll just get rid of that note or Tot or whatever they call them.
I'm actually a big fan of Notes, mostly because it's included with iCloud. So if I'm at work on a Windows PC, I can go ahead and log into my iCloud account, and I've got access to all of my Apple Notes, and as well as some of the other functionality of iCloud. You can do the same thing, of course, with Dropbox and OneDrive and so many other cloud services. But in order to get back to my Apple stuff, I just find that that Notes and iCloud and Pages and all the rest of those things that are kind of built into iCloud when you log in is just like amazing. It just works really, really well for me.
Wait a minute, Todd is free?
Sorry?
Is Todd free?
No, it
Why
is
does
not.
it say get? And it doesn't say in-app purchases.
So I think you can download it as a demo, and then
in the App Store.
But isn't it in SetApp too?
I don't think Tot's in SetApp.
No.
Okay.
I don't recall what Tot cost. I want to say it's like $19, whatever it cost.
That's what I thought too. But
I threw money at it, and was happy to do so. So it's actually, I think it might be free on the Mac, and then if you want to have it on iOS, then it's $19.
How?
In the chat room, let's see. Barry said if he were to answer the same question for the iPad, he would have to list Linea Sketch. Linea
Oh
Sketch.
man, I couldn't get by without Linea Sketch.
Oh, okay. And also he mentions default folder X, which that is just, I'm right there. That probably would be my third pick. And it's hard not, because it just makes open and save dialogue so much better. Jeff, I don't think this is quite the same. I'm going to throw it in the chat rooms. Do you use Yoink at all? I mean,
I do use Yoink.
It's from what you're saying about Tot. That sounds like maybe the way that I use Yoink.
Yeah, and see, and I use Yoink just for files, not for bits of information.
Okay.
So for actually, I use Yoink in a very limited capacity. So I have several files that I want to move around. I just throw them all on Yoink, and then I go find the windows that or the folders that they're going to go in. And if like these three go in this folder and these two go in this folder, I just pull them out of Yoink and move them into the folder they need to go. And
if anybody's just tuning in right now, they're probably thinking these people are speaking an unknown language. Yeah. Yoink or Tot? No, I talk.
Yoink away.
I yoink. So,
yeah, Jim, I double checked.
It
looks like
I found it on the iPhone store. It's $20.
Yeah, $20. But on the Mac, it's free.
That's weird.
Well, it's a great way to get you hooked.
Use it on both, so.
Yes, and see, for some people, they just need this quick transient notes. For other people like me, it's about having quick transient notes that are instantly accessible on any of my devices.
And see, that's where I like. I'm with Guy. I use Apple's Notes and just love it.
Yeah, I use Notes for that. Sometimes I use Things for that.
If I was on a Mac all the time,
mostly Notes,
or like Apple devices all the time, I would agree with you, Jeff. But because I'm having to move around to a lot of different platforms and a lot of different buildings, I kind of just needed a service that was going to work no matter where I was and would go back to my Mac. And that's
that use
kind
case
of
makes
where
sense.
iCloud. Yeah.
Yeah.
David, what do you do in this regard?
I don't use those tools too often, so I can't really comment on it.
You must have a good memory.
Yeah.
About what?
Okay, you'll laugh or be surprised probably. The app that I use in the way that that guy is using notes,
I use Notes.
OneNote,
Yeah,
Oh, I
OneNote's good
used to
too.
use
Microsoft
OneNote.
OneNote.
Oh,
Sure.
yeah, okay. I used to know, and then there was another thing, SimpleNote, about 10, 12 years ago.
Mhm.
That would integrate with NB Alt, and I used that with SimpleNote to get stuff across all my devices. And then something happened. SimpleNote went subscription, or I'm not quite sure what, but it sort of fell on the wayside. And then, after a gap of years, I replaced it with Notes.
I had thought you were talking about the plugin apps like Yoink. I mean, I've played with Yoinks before, but no, I'm a big Apple Notes user. I use Notes all the time, and I use OneNote too.
Me too.
And I use OneNote only because in the corporate world, that's what we use because in the Microsoft ecosystem. So I'm kind of in both.
Slightly near topic, but slightly different. An app that a cross-platform app that has really changed my life, I would say, is Due. DUE. Anybody else here use that?
Mm-mm.
Don't
No?
call me Do.
Really? Nobody here
Dude.
knows Due?
Dude,
I'm familiar with it.
I mean, I haven't used it, but I know what it is.
It has changed my personality because I'm somebody that always,
oh, it's in SetApp too.
be terrible. DUE is in SetApp?
Yep.
Oh wow, yeah.
Seriously?
Yep.
It is.
Are
Oh,
you using it on iOS devices?
yes.
My
Well,
guess is that the SetApp version is just for the Mac.
Yeah. No, it is. I started using it on, and actually, now that you mention it, I'm probably using the SetApp version. Although I have bought the Mac version in the past, the Mac version used to not work. In fact, this used to be an app that I used all the time, but I kind of would swear at it, even though I did, because I could only get it to work on my iPhone. And I was like, oh, it would be so awesome if I could go back and forth between my devices. And they did have a Mac app, but it wouldn't work. It would just crash. And but they do now have it all working: Mac, iPad, iOS, and Watch. And you can. So it's a reminder app, but it's got this really clever system of nudging you. So you can say, thing comes up and says, for example, I've got one for this, a weekly one for MacVoices, although I don't really need it anymore. But when I first started, it was like, remind me to, 20 minutes before MacVoices come on. And it will keep, I can say, oh, no, I don't want to do that now. But you can say, when you do that, you can just say, remind me later. And when you set it up, you can have it, remind you like every 10 minutes or every hour or every day. Or you can just go in and like long press and say, kick this back a day. And so I do that constantly. And so I don't forget things anymore, And it's like, so something comes up and it's like, oh, I've got to fill out this tax form. Okay. I'm not going to do it today, but I'll just, I don't ever forget those things anymore. So it kind of, in some ways, it's, it hounds me. I've got a lot of things in it now, and it's like, it stresses me, but I don't have the stress of, oh, that deadline was 2 weeks ago and I forgot all about it. And now I have to pay a penalty, or, I missed out on that opportunity, or whatever it was. So it's
the only thing, Jim, do you have the option of using it with the S Lady? Because that to me is like essential. If I can't call out to her and have her add a reminder for me, that's going to be a problem.
I have no idea. I do not use any. I would guess probably.
I was looking on their website. I didn't see anything, but I also,
I'd be kind of shocked if it didn't, but I don't. I don't know.
I don't ever do that, and that's not. And I still, I still use calendar for things, but this is more for like, when I absolutely don't, want to forget something. And it's great now because, things like, oh, I've got to remember to do something 8 months from now. Well, it used to be, I would just be like, forget it. Don't even set up an appointment or whatever, So I've got things in here. I've got a due that in October of 2025, I need to renew my Fastmail account.
So, Jim, how does it give you feedback? Does it send an email, a message on the screen? What's the interaction?
No, it's notifications on all your devices.
Okay, well,
including my watch, phone, iPad, computer.
I'll have to take another look at this because, unlike, so it's been years since, it's probably been, like 7 or 8 years since I looked at OmniFocus, and it just seemed to have too much built-in assumptions and too much overhead to use. But this something, if it's something you'd say, okay, well, I want to delay this thing, remind me in, 37 minutes, or remind me tomorrow at 1:15. That might be a much gentler and more have more utility than some of these other big systems that.
I think OmniFocus is a project management.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go down the rat hole. I don't want to just say other than OmniFocus has a lot of overhead with it. If all you want is something that
right. I don't use OmniFocus, but my impression is that's for managing complex things and where you can stage and say, well, if this gets delayed, then that's going to cascade.
No. That's not what it does. It's not one of these Gantt chart sort of project management tools. It's something.
Yeah.
You're
thinking of Omni Planner.
Okay, but it is a getting things done thing, right? It's a
yeah.
It's like David Sparks loves OmniFocus because you can see that David Sparks has got like every he plans out every day to like here's what I'm doing, and because he was a lawyer. I don't do that, but I definitely. I mean, there's a reason why I have this Fastmail reminder for 3 years from now, because I have my Fastmail. It forwards to Gmail, and so my ProView.com it goes to Fastmail and then to Gmail, and it forwards all the ProView.com mail to that. What it turns out it does not forward is Fastmail notices that your account has expired.
And then it's too late.
Yeah, that's nice.
So Fastmail will send you a notice to the email that I never check, because I just check in Gmail. And one day you'll wake up and you'll wonder why you're not getting any mail, and it's because they sent you weeks of notices that you've expired, and they all went to a bit hole. And
okay, I bet you've invented a lot of combinations of 4-letter words, to express.
I'll tell you.
Well, I mean, I learned my lesson, and now. I have, I've learned that and I did have like maybe you guys should, think about, and they're like, yeah, maybe we'll think about it. They didn't promise it. I'm like, I literally want to give you money. You need to, you want to get me a message that I need to give you money. You want the money, don't you think maybe you should do this? Maybe we're not really sure.
Yeah, I want to catch up a little bit with the chat room, and then we'll get out of here. Eric Bolden is in the chat room. He couldn't join us tonight, but he said Nisus Writer Pro, style-based, or BBEdit for text editor clipboard, and GoodNotes 5 for PDF. Interesting. And Jeff Gamet, I'll try to get that link and post it in the. No, they won't take. Sorry, chat room. But I will have it in the show notes. That with Do. You do have the ability. Sorry, with Do DUE, DO have the ability to route a request through Siri, just by say something like using Do. Remind me to call John at 9 a.m. And Siri. The S lady will accept that, and put it in do. So,
Okay.
as this was interesting. I really didn't know where this was going to go, but we named a lot of apps. Hopefully, folks got a little something out of it, and we'll go into the new year just a little more productive.
Panorama.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that we all didn't say, well, our first must-have app is Panorama, and then offered up something else to go along with it.
Yeah. We'll do that on next year's holiday show.
I'll make sure to get your bribes to y'all before next year's.
Excellent.
That helps. It really does.
Yeah. Yeah. But they'll have to be bigger than this year because there is inflation. So let's go around the room, let folks know where they can find you, and then we'll wish everybody a happy holiday. So I'm going to flip it around and ask Webb to start us off. Webb, thanks for being here. Where is the best place for folks to connect with you?
Thank you. Probably the best way is through Facebook, Webb Bixby 2 words, or Webb Bixby 1 word on Twitter. Happy holidays to you guys.
To you as well, Webb. Thanks. Mr. Serle.
Yeah, you can find me as...
I know you have one or two places.
Yeah, there's a couple. I am Mac Parrot on TweetDeck, Counter Social, and Mastodon, as well as Facebook. I'm one of the hosts of the MyMac.com podcast, along with Gazmaz. We had about 2 weeks off while I was down in Florida, but we're back on track now. You lucky people. And guy at mymac.com, all different kinds of ways to get a hold of him. Basically, if you look up Mac Parrot, I'm there someplace.
Great. Thank you, Guy. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Mark Fuccio, sitting on the fault line. Where can folks find you?
Through no fault of his own.
Oh, simple thing is, I think Twitter is still a functioning enterprise. So at MarkFuccio on Twitter. And I just want to say happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year. I don't know if we're meeting next week or in the new year, but that's the expansion for Happy Holidays.
I like it. That's a great idea. I like that. Put that in a text expander. Very nice. Very nice. Jim Ray. So where can folks go to buy Preview and connect with you?
Preview? Preview's free, Chuck.
Preview.
Oh, see, you should have made the bride bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope you learned your lesson, Jim. It's a nice app you have there.
And
be ashamed if something happened to it.
Preview's also spelled wrong. Right? Apple spells it incorrectly. Actually, I just realized that if you go to provue.com, PROVUE, so weird spelling, provue.com/Winterfest 2022. That's all one word, no spaces or anything. Provue.com/Winterfest 2022. The Winterfest Festival is coming up. It's starting, I think, Friday or Saturday. And there's going to be a bunch of apps that are available for 25% off. Panorama is available for $25 off the normal $100. And that actually, it's already live. I've already put that up. So you can go.
I'm looking at it right now.
Right now, provue.com/Winterfest 2022. And you don't have to wait. If you're watching this live or, if you're listening to this later, then it'll already be up. So, that's the best way to get a hold of me.
Great.
And if you download there's a 7-day free trial, and you can put in a comment there if you want. You can put "Hi Jim," and I'll see that.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Happy holidays, Mr. Gamet. Sounds like you're going to get a little chilly in the next few days.
Howdy.
So you'll just be sitting there waiting for people to reach you. Where can folks find you?
Well, they'll be able to find me in Boulder, Colorado, where it's going to be so cold that that oxygen will turn to snow and fall to the ground.
That is not good.
Okay, not quite that cold, but seriously.
Close.
Cold enough to kill you if you go outside for more than a few minutes.
Oh, we have a Darwin Awards contest challenge here.
Don't say
Holy
that.
moly, it's going to be minus 17 on Thursday.
Yeah, there was lots of them at the Green Bay game last night, not wearing shirts.
There's some really bright people in the gene pool. Okay, so anyhow, when I'm not poking fun at the gene pool, Twitter, Mastodon, Instagram, whatever socials, Gamet, and then let's see, how about shows here with you on Tuesdays, then Thursdays on the Big Show, and then Thursday evenings with Dave on his show, In Touch with iOS, and then Fridays on the Mac Show, and then also on the Context Machine. Brian Chaffin and I have teamed up again. That's probably enough for now.
Very good.
Isn't it wonderful that YouTube still allows us to give out our contact information on competing social media sites?
Yeah, isn't that great?
They dropped that. Twitter.
It's like we're living in the future.
I said YouTube.
Yeah, I know.
Well, David said they dropped it. The YouTube never had it.
Yeah, and despite
but, it's something that we need to learn to appreciate.
We do
took it for granted.
And despite what Elon and Twitter are saying, links to Mastodon are not malware.
You haven't seen my Mastodon.
I haven't seen your Mastodon. That's true.
Yeah. Good point.
Because I haven't said
Last
that
but absolutely not least, Mr. David Ginsburg is sitting up there just looking like Santa with a shave and a haircut.
Yeah. And it's going to be minus 7 degrees here with probably about minus 30 wind chill. So I'll be just as cold. You could find me on In Touch with iOS, intouchwithios.com, YouTube channel, youtube.com/intouchwithios. On the Mac Show, I'm here, and I'm on Mastodon at mastodon.cloud. DaveG65, still on Twitter, DaveG65, and In Touch with iOS on Twitter as well. Thanks, Chuck. Happy holidays,
Thank you,
everybody.
David. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. So, Jim, where you are, I imagine the weather's similar to mine. It's probably going to be like 65 or 66 on Sunday.
On Sunday? Let me
Christmas
consult
Day.
this.
Not 7 or minus 7 or.
Let me consult this soon to be defunct.
So
it just breaks my heart that Dark Sky stops working on January 1.
Yeah,
I still haven't been able to figure out what is the appropriate replacement app for Dark Sky, because there's nothing else that's Dark Sky.
No.
Yeah,
I'm probably going to use Mercury because my pals wrote it and it's pretty good, but I still like Dark Sky better. According to Dark Sky, it's going to be 84 here on Christmas.
So no chance of snow then.
On that note,
yeah, really. We're going to get out of here and we'll save the weather.
Then you're going to have a lot of house guests.
Yeah. Hey, I definitely want to wish that everyone in the chat room a happy holiday. Thank you for coming as always. Every Tuesday night, we love seeing you guys and having you participate as well. A couple quick notes here on scheduling. I think I'm not sure who brought it up, but right now the plan is to definitely have a show next Tuesday, the Tuesday after Christmas. After that, we'll probably skip the following Tuesday, which is the Tuesday after New Year's, simply because I'm going to be headed to, I hope not.
All that blue wine.
The blue wine, yeah. But hopefully David and I will both be in Las Vegas for CES. So we will be back the week after that. So we'll be taking a week off. With that, I will say happy holidays. I can't do Mark's, let's see, what was it? Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa.
What else is there? Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year.
Yeah, I forgot about Festivus, Happy New Year. Yeah, the whole thing. So all of that.
Wasn't there a commercial at one point where they said Happy Christmas Hana Kwanzaa?
There is now.
I actually used to do a yearly, and it was like an end of year thing where it was Chris Hana Kwanzmas.
On that note,
Yes.
I'm Chuck Joyner. This is Mac Voices Live. We're out of here. See you on Tuesday.
Show would never end.
Yeah, it's like you guys. I try to put an ending on it, and you guys go veering off in another direction.
Look, you let us on the show. That's on you.
Right.
Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with Mac Voices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.